Trip, turn that bitch up.
Hello, y'all. I'm back again with another podcast. I'm here today with Bambi. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. So,
Thanks for having me.
absolutely. I'm sure I'm going to express this letter. Okay. So, what I want to know is I'm going to talk a little bit about you because I want this podcast to be all about you today.
Mhm.
And I think the one thing that I appreciate and admire about you the most is that within your work, you always put yourself in it, like wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And y'all haven't listened to his music, it's the bomb. It's the shit. Like you have like such a smooth way of like telling a story. You have like your own little swag to it.
Yeah.
So that's the yeah, it's really like a thing that I really admire and appreciate. But I just want people to like really get to know about you.
Well, from like a lifelong standpoint, it's just like artistically
Um,
overall.
we're gonna start with the lifelong step here.
So it started very kind of typical black queer boy,
Period.
upcoming, discovering my masculine, feminine, single parent home, grew up in the North, South Jersey. Um, Creatively always doing something, whether it was drawing or singing and everyone told me to shut up, or writing or painting, choir,
Mm,
just like dipping my toes in whatever I wanted to do creatively. Um, that's just always been like my like outlet, if you will. Um, so that's kind of where I've always been creatively.
mm,
High school was whatever, graduated, went to
mm,
college for a little bit,
mm.
discovered that was a chart, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of segued me into, there's a point in time where I was in college that kind of started my music journey. Two friends of mine, started a boy group, so we were in a boy group for a little bit. So that was like my first real like artistic endeavor, which was really fun. Didn't last too long, it was like a year and some change. Um, Shortly after I met my man,
Period. Who is?
is my man. His name is Mark.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Mark Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Period.
my creative equal. Shortly after college, we kind of started as friends. We linked up.
Mm.
He's a creative as well, photographer, videographer, all the things. And we've been meshing and just kind of bouncing off each other since like what 2020 and 29 2017
Mm.
2017 2016 2017. I want to say is when we met because I graduated 2012 from high school.
Mm.
um yeah, so I'm gonna say like early in my 20s. I feel like ever since then I've just been kind of like pushing myself creatively in whichever way I saw fit. For a while I was modeling,
Mm.
because he was a photographer, so
Mm.
I started doing that with him. A lot of people would know me as like his starting muse,
Mm.
um, which also segued me into getting back into my music.
Mm.
So it was really just like a beautiful experience overall. I felt like
Mm.
being some kind of artistic person has always been like my go-to, has always been like my safe space, my challenge space. Like
Mm.
I just knew that was a part of who I was.
Mm.
From the toddler to the preteen to, you know what I mean?
Mm.
This has always been my thing. So
Got you.
yeah.
Okay. So, I'm gonna get into some questions. Let me see what I can ask a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me see. So, has there ever been like any moments within your journey to where you felt like this is not for me? I want to give up. Like I'm tired of this shit.
So I would say the closest time I ever got to that was when
Mhm.
I moved to Georgia from
Mhm.
Philly, because I was staying in Philly, made my to Philly.
Mhm.
This was around the pandemic, and I got this crazy sensational fucking urge. Come guys.
Yeah, hell yeah, shit. And I'm gonna
Okay.
tell shit.
Okay. This crazy sensational urge to just like fucking leave. Like I was just
Mhm.
like I'm over the north. I feel like I'm supposed to be here. I don't know if it was like a spiritual, like something pushing me or God. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I gotta go. You know what I mean? And my boy was enough. He was brave and beautiful enough to support me. My friends were. My mom was. You know.
Mm,
Um, but me moving there was such a testament because I really had to figure shit out on my own, independently and really creatively. Um,
mm,
so I found that was the closest time to me being like, damn, can I really figure this out?
mm,
What a blessing was like, I'm gonna say I moved at the end of like 2021. I suck at timelines. So I'm gonna say like the end
mm,
of 2021,
mm,
or something like that. And I want to say like by that summer, I got offered to do like a festival back in New York. So that was like my pullback. It went from me being in like this really depressive ass, like I don't want to do nothing kind of state like of the world. I can't do this. You know what I mean? So God just being like, nope, I'm not giving up on you yet. And he kind of like I segued into doing uh fucking festival was it? April festival was it? Um in New York. Moby Fest. Moby Fest. It was Moby Fest.
mm.
I
I
think.
heard of this.
Yeah, it was Moby Fest in New York.
Mm,
And they paid me, they flew me out and everything. It was just like a really dope experience. So I felt like that was my push to be like, no, don't give up yet. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
was real close. I
Mm,
was real close. It was just like a trying time.
mm.
But here we are.
So what made you stay in it? Like what are some things that you had to really tell yourself to get back in the headspace?
Um, Getting back to like myself first and foremost, and just I just redefining because especially as a creative, like I feel like it's easy to get, especially in this day and age, like to get tied up in maybe like wanting to be trendy, wanting to be important, wanting to be popular, wanting to be seen, right? You know what I mean? Me moving to Georgia was really just like, okay, you starting back from scratch, motherfucker. Like you were starting
Mm-hmm.
down from the bottom. Like
Yeah.
who are you as a artist? You know what I mean? And some of the things that helped me, I mean, going out, Georgia was beautiful at the time. Like it definitely wasn't cold, so I spent the time outside. I was like
Yeah.
writing. My project King of Hearts. A lot of those songs I wrote around that time, and kind of during the pandemic, I was just like,
Mm,
I need to get this out.
mm,
Um, so certain things was help me cultivate and like get back into like my groove.
mm,
Um, to kind of get me back into like the headspace I need to be in.
mm. Because I want to talk about King of Hearts. I really want to know a little bit more about how you started that. Because it's one song on there, I forgot the name of it damn quick. But it's a long song on there, I'm like, yeah. So talk to us a little bit about King of Hearts.
Um, that was really a birth of like, so it didn't even start as King of Hearts. Honestly, I've been planning on putting out after my last project. I had put out something called Retrograde. It was like an EP, and it was like a SoundCloud project, and then turned into an EP. So it's like a two-part thing. And then I was slowly cultivating like what my next like kind of piece of work wanted to be. So I'm sitting there and I'm working on these songs. And then I moved to Georgia. I go through this whole like weird ass space, and then I'm just writing stuff in between. Certain songs like Obsidian and Dark Angels Cry too, like my more like introverted songs, like self-reflective songs, were songs of me just like getting whatever I was feeling out of me.
Mm,
Those turned into their own thing, and then I feel
mm,
like it started to I was just trying to cultivate something in my mind.
mm,
And with the name Bambiana,
mm,
the Bambi thing attached to it, I'm like,
mm,
okay, as a artist, I'm trying to brand and trying to cultivate an experience. You know what I mean? What do I want to tell? What do I want people to see? What do I want to convey? What kind of imaginative
mm,
space do I want to be in? So I really felt like I started to hone in on what that looked like. So
mm,
that already new music video I had with the freaking antlers, you know what
mm,
I mean? And like the hood with
mm,
my friends, like
mm,
that was like one thing. And then me being in the woods in Obsidian with like the
mm,
jacket and shit like that, that was like its own thing. So I felt like I wanted to cultivate this idea of like this dear boy, you know what I mean? Kind of
yeah,
facade, but still embodying me in a sense, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I am kind of sensitive, I am kind of ratchet, I am kind of urban, I am kind of
yes.
this, like I'm all these things. Like we're all multidimensional. So Kingdom Hearts is an introduction just to me being like, hey, this is where I am at this point, and I had like these bomb ass songs, you know what I mean?
Mm,
To kind of
mm,
give a expression of where I am at that moment. You know what I mean? So once I honed in on the idea of like, okay, Bambi, deer, blah blah blah, then it was easier for me to like cultivate like what songs I wanted to use, and then they helped me write songs. Once I figured that out, and I came up with other songs along the way. So it kind of just started to become its own thing. But once I had that, I kind of identifier. Because King of when even the name King of Hearts is like Hart. Hart is another word for deer. Like if you Google it, so it was like super intricate. You know what I mean? Um, and it was probably the best shit I've ever made in my life so far. So it was just like I'm super proud of it, and it birthed other ideas. So I have more ideas around it that I want to cultivate. You know what I mean? A part two. You know what I mean? Maybe a part three, like, or just other ideas to expand on what my artistic identity kind of looks like. 'Cause, excuse me, I feel like all great artists have that. You know what I mean? Beyonce's and Doja's and fucking whoever you can name of. Like they have a something they can stick to and identify, or something that they can hold close to them that can make them different or unique in a sense. You know what I mean? So that was kind of where King of Hearts kind of like birthed. It was kind of during my depressive state and into formulated, I would say, to formulate into something beautiful. So me moving down here was just such a beautiful testament to like my artistry because it really did shine with dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So how is it being a queer artist? Because a lot of people don't really get to talk about
Talk
that.
about that.
Yeah.
It's unique.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it is a unique experience. I mean, it's a beautiful experience. I feel like in my experience as a queer artist, I found that we definitely got to fight a lot harder.
Yes, a whole lot harder.
Especially as a queer rapper. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like queer singers can finesse a little bit more because it comes from a slightly more gentle space. But rap is a harder sport.
Mm.
And I find that, and this is like kind of my personal opinion, the trajectory of what queer rap looks like or had looked like for a long period of time leaned on this, which is totally fine, like the super kind of feminine Onika Mirage, like approach, you know what I mean? Like very, you know what I mean? It did carry, which is not for nothing. She inspiration to me too, you know what I mean? Regardless of what people thought right now, like she was an inspiration for me too. But finding your identifier, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as a, it's always like it's just much more intricate for us as queer rappers and queer artists to find our niche. You know what I mean? Or find our safe space, cultivate our own safe space, without trying to attach to the heteronormative aspects that kind of like are like keeping us. You know what I mean? Keeping us to they don't let us get to a certain point. You let a couple slip through. You know what I mean? The little guys here and the saucy here.
Yeah.
You know the Rambo Dog there. Like a couple of them can slip through, but there's a lot of you and I both know from being around these folks. Like, there's a lot of great
It
talent.
is a whole lot. And
It's crazy.
yeah, it's so crazy. And I feel like a lot of them don't get the acknowledgement that they deserve really because of society. And really when I really did Inclusify, it made me realize like the different realms of queerness. Because it definitely made me like look at a different trajectory. Um, but I think we don't get appreciated enough. And like being queer in general, like a lot of queer people are very creative. And really with queer music and queer art in general, it's we all hone in on telling the truth, whether if it's about ourselves, whether if it's about other people, whether if it's about experiences. And we're not gonna give a damn because being queer within itself, you're always being suppressed of who you are, for sure. So now you have to fight to show who you are, but and you have to put it through your art.
Yes.
So
Or you get caught up in the facade of trying to be comparable to everyone else around you that does see a certain mindset, which I also wanted to point out. You do it, you and the guys on I put inclusive high.
yeah,
It was just so fucking dope because it was just like to our point or to your point, that fight, you know what I mean?
yeah,
As opposed to trying to be, like I said, comparable to these other spaces we do shit like that and create our own. So the fact that y'all did that, like, this is why you will always get my fucking props. Like, you and Jamo will always get you will always get your thanks from me for doing things like that, because how else you know what I mean? It's like being a black person in a white man's world, you know what I mean? Either we consider and continue to try to be compared to the white man's, you know what I mean? And never really, because every time we get here, they'll get here. Yeah. Every time we get there, we'll get, you know what I mean? There's the same thing with us trying to be in the industries, but so fuck it, we got to make our own.
Yeah, and I really do. And I had to, that's why, because originally what I created was like a production company, but I really wanted to create an entertainment company. And I'm wanting to focus it on all queer aspects of entertainment. Yeah. Because queer entertainment is so important. Like I realized when we went to the Out on Film short film, there was so many damn great movies. It was
Great.
and it was like none of these movies were ever showcased. Like it was so many things that I learned from that festival, and it made me go back and be like, this is really what I want to do. Like
Yeah.
I want to be a part of this community because it's just not appreciated enough. Like even like that was my first time like seeing guys on guys kissing. I mean, but it was just really just telling the truth about who we are as people. And we really don't get that. And then yeah, and then it's like even when you come out, it's like you kind of have to hide and be like you kind of have to hide yourself, and then once you get to a certain point, then you can expose your growth, which is something I really didn't like. So uh, yeah, I just want queer people. I want more of us.
Yeah.
I want more of us. I want to see more drag queens. I want to see more femme. I want to see more masculine. I want to see
Because we're
all of that.
already we have all of that going on.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, ain't nobody else really ends up here doing that shit. So you might as well take the
Might as
you
well.
might as well take the lead, because who else is gonna be who else is showcasing that kind of aptitude of work? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you always get your chance to make the extras. You out here really pushing that shit. Like you think he for sure.
I try to be here. But let me see if I have any other questions. Um, so I know you worked jobs before. So how is it working in a job and also working in your purpose? Because I know sometimes it can become frustrating to some people because it's like they both need your attention, but what is your purpose is more important.
Right.
Right.
It is a hell of a balance. I would say, at least for me, like my occupation thing has always been like service. Like when I spend like a good amount in my practice, especially trying to be musicians, they are with tables, working a food service. You know what I mean? When you are working like a more sophisticated, more demanding kind of job, it does make it hard, because it's like at the end of the day, no one's sitting with like their bills and their obligations, because you got to keep them up. Like the lights on, you got to keep food in the fridge. But at the same time, it requires a certain amount of compromise. I don't like to really use the word sacrifice, compromise, you know what I mean? Because, what if I get to kill and eating all? I'm not killing off my artistry for the sake of working. You know what I mean? There have been times where I've had to put my musical obligations over my job. I wouldn't be here today. Suck my dick. Like,
Y'all know this?
I'll see you when I see you. And not for nothing, because I was good at my job, it did allow me to have a little more leniency. Especially when when your employer goes into it and they know that you are doing what you do. But it's not the I know that's not the case for everybody. So at least for me, it was just like it's like a ebb and flow. Like even like I'm working now, and not for nothing, I knew this was happening, so I was just like, I requesting, oh, asked me to come. That's what asked me to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my artistry is important to me.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm starting to find that even in just like life, like outside of my music, like my time is really fucking important. I feel like we're so caught up on chasing the bag, chasing the coins, which is fine. Like, it make your money, but don't allow it to dictate your livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not good. Your money is not that deep. It's just, at least to me, it's not that deep. It's beautiful to have, but it's not that deep. Because with my well being and my my little sensations or whatever. You know what I mean? When my happiness is compromising that, it's like no, it's a job. It's a job. So it's like an ebb and flow. Hopefully, it comes to a point, and whatever point it is, I used to rush it to be like, oh, let me hurry up and get on. Let me hurry up and get on, so I don't have to work no more. When it's just like you can take that route, but that requires a certain amount of compromise within itself. You rush to a label, you don't got to work no more, but now the label is your job and you got to deal with that. That means and I feel like anybody who's signed to a label, I've seen friends and I've seen we see the celebrities look like general labels. Rise and vision, I get to it. So getting cheap.
So I want to talk a little bit about like how do you take care of Bambiana? Like how do you take care of him like mentally, physically? Well, there's a lot of things I think a lot of artists don't realize is everybody's on work mode. But some people don't know that you really do need to have the balance of work and taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you do?
I think it's so funny that you asked that because I really told myself, I really discovered at the end of this year and at the top of this year that I was going to take meaning and talk about that briefly. Step forward. I am really focused on the betterment of my health. Even to the point where I told myself this year, I said, I'm not writing the motherfucking thing. And like, I said, well, if you didn't know, had my Logic Pro, produced engineering and all that. I'll sit and I'll make my own music, like from scratch. Blah, 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 blah. I had not touched my computer and made any, babe, have I touched my motherfucking computer or done any music since January? I told myself until I find something that I really want to say or I'm really moved, I'm chilling. And also, diving back into things that matter to me. Rest. You know what I see? Or rest, the food that I eat. Even like I listen, I smoked down. I have cut it back, cut it back off. Drinking heavy, I have a little wine. But I'm doing really small things that are like micro things that can become macro things that can affect me better. You know what I mean? So I really prioritize taking like care of myself at the top of the year so I can continue, so I can build a routine and continue to do it throughout the rest of however time I have here. Which includes like sleeping and eating lunch, good times a day, stay off the sugar, stop smoking so many backwoods, cut this, you know what I mean? Like Sizzle Savage, let the backwoods go. Like,
Yeah.
um, doing small things to take care of myself and just cultivating a specific routine like lifestyle for myself that I can enjoy, not feel pressured by.
Yes.
And then I can begin to like even down to like I'm studying music theory again. I want to pick up the fucking guitar
Ooh, I
and start.
love music things.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm doing
yes.
small things to be like I want to cultivate and be this version of myself that I know I can be, but it requires a certain amount of discipline. So I find that's been the best way I've been like taking care of myself without overdoing it. You know what I mean? I'll get up, I go to work, I do whatever, but I'm really taking this time for these like few months or however time I need to cultivate inward, like, and I'm starting to discover, like, even it being a winter time, motherfuckers want to work so hard during the winter.
Yes.
It's rest mode.
Yes.
Like, I think
It's
this
too
is
damn cold
it's too
outside.
cold outside for all that. We need
Yeah.
to rest and focus on ourselves, get your skin right, get your body right, take your city gym, do whatever you got to do to, like, cultivate yourself so you can turn up, and not turn up per se, but you can enjoy yourself by the time the summer go. You know what I mean? You can feel more free and not so lethargic and not so overworked by the time summer comes. So I've just really been on that type time, like doing small things and looking up small things to take care of myself. Even social media, I ain't posted a fucking thing since January. You know what I mean? I'll slip on. I mean, scroll for even scrolling. I cut back on scrolling. Like I feel
Scrolling was
it's dangerous.
yeah, it's very
It's dangerous. The amount of information, especially now. Oh my god, with all the shit going on, my friends be coming to me and being like, "Have you seen?" No, girl, I have not. I'm detached.
yes.
I was living my own world right now.
Yeah.
So that's been like my premise of how I've been taking care of myself. And I've always had a hard time sticking to a routine because I don't know, as a Scorpio, it's very much I do what the fuck I want when I want. So discernment has never really been my strong suit, but I'm doing so good at it now.
Yeah.
I'm so much better at it. And I'm like, I be patting myself on the back. It's like, oh, you taking care of yourself. Like, you doing your big one. So, uh, that's been my little journey to like keep myself self care wise. Cause
But I know you talked a little bit about like evolution because I saw something. So I looked on like what you sent me,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you were talking about like different like evolutions, like stepping into new eras. So, what is what is your new era, or are you even applying to this era that you're on?
It's- Because the path that I felt like I'm on is feels very new to me. Um, but a eerie part of it, I think me and my partner and I talked about, me and Mark talked about this area. It also feels like a version of me that I knew at a younger version of me, but it didn't have the wisdom. So I would say even like in my year first years in college when I was in the boy group and I was kind of free and ripping around in the streets, I was doing all the crazy shit, but I felt free. You know what I mean? Like I felt like the world wasn't holding like the world. I knew the world was a shit, but it wasn't holding me down.
Mm,
I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. I was doing done, done. So I felt like I'm gaining that kind of momentum, which is kind of nostalgic, but in a very new, more wiser, I guess, more mature kind of way. So even I feel like the music that I feel like maybe I'm sitting on music now, but the music I find that I'll create won't even sound the same as the music that I meet before because I feel like it's gonna lead me on this different path to be slightly different. So the evolution will be familiar, but it will be new. But I feel like it's gonna be new, and I'm excited about it because I'm like I can see it. Um, and it's like I can almost touch it, but I have to do this work to get there. You know what I mean? So that's it's kind of exciting. It's I'm like I'm enjoying like this whole path that I'm on.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've cause like really like we talked about it before. You talked about your process because it's really all about like the more you do things within your purpose, the more like you really kind of have no choice but to evolve because you start to like realize a lot of things. Like even with me, like a lot of people don't, and a lot of people don't notice, but I'm very shy. I'm a shy person. I'm a shy a little bit, but um I really had to learn like this year. I really had to like claim the bigness of me, and I had to be more public facing. Because the fact that I am doing this and it is very unique. Now I'm getting to the point to where it's like you ain't got no choice. Like you gonna have to be big and loud, tall and strong, and so it's nerve wracking. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, trying to see. Um,
Proud of you, proud of that.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
Um, so being public facing, cause we just talked about it. How like do you see yourself being more public facing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would like to think that I will become more public facing.
Mm,
Because to be honest, for nothing, I can be a little bit shy, especially when it comes to being in really big spaces and public spaces. I've always have a tendency to bring it down. You know what I mean? My artistry has allowed me to kind of maneuver that a little bit differently, but
mm,
little by little, I think now at this point, I think it's more of like a finesse game for me. I think
mm,
I can be really and kind of out there when I need to be. But by nature, I find myself to be not even reserved, but I'm here. I'm present, but
mm,
I'm not loud. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
I've never felt the need to be like overexerted. That's just never been like my nature. I've always just been like it's in my music. Like my music is very fucking chill. I have music
yes,
that
it
is,
is.
but it's shit talky, it's
Yeah.
cocky for sure. Like
Yes. And
it's
it's
very
smooth as hell.
yeah,
It's
like
smooth as hell.
but it's never been like overtly like abrasive. So
Mm,
it's definitely a finesse. I do want to find spaces where I can be more, a little more amped.
mm,
So I think it's really just finding that space because I don't know, not for nothing, especially with us talking about being queer. this is a good time to be fucking loud. Like this is a I don't know if you know about like horoscopes and shit or astrology, but this is the year of the horse. So like shit is really on fire right now. Like yes, the world is loud. Things are very abrasive. So not for nothing, I think at times where I feel like I should speak up or I want to speak up, I'm gonna speak the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I dare somebody to get in heat about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Because I'm very that too. Like what
Yep,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I want to find I'm gonna practice that
Yeah.
and kind of cultivate that kind of energy as well because it's gonna come in handy, and I think there's gonna be certain of us who are gonna be called to, especially in creative spaces like this, for us to be a little more amped and a little more loud about
Yeah.
what we believe in. You know what I mean? What we believe in, what we stand for, shit, what we just want to get off our chest, what we want to express. So I feel like that's gonna come in hit. That's gonna come in handy. So I do plan on being like a lawyer. So
Yeah,
way.
as you should, as you should, you know. So, what advice can you give to, hmm, I would say, an artist in general, but really primarily a queer artist? That's beginning.
This started.
Yeah.
I would say to a young queer artist just starting, and this is super fucking cliche, and there's no, mm, I felt like legitimate way to do this, but really which because I feel like a young artist is like learning yourself, but it's like, and we always learning ourselves.
Yeah.
But if you're an artist, do trying to find the words. Do your research, and I mean do your research as an artist, right? I feel like we can find our inspirations in other artists and in other facets. Um, I find that some artists tend to take from those artists or take from their inspirations, but literally just take them without cultivating a sense of self. Discover yourself while also researching what you love. Research what you love while also discover who you are so that you can blend. Because I feel like for us, and it just fucking sucks because as queer artists, we don't get the freedom to be. You know what I mean? It's hard for us to be. If I would have been able to confidently express my femininity and confidently express certain things about myself at a younger age, I would have been, and I don't like to look at the past, but my shit would have probably been a little more fluid, a little bit sooner. It took for me in my 40s and high key now in my 30s to be like, okay, I'm discovering who I am. I know I'm inspired by XYZ. How do I cultivate all these things so I can make and like you build like you and you put shit in the pot, then you try to make it taste good, right? How do I make myself taste the best? Or how do I make how do that's a little freaky. How do I make myself like come out the best product of myself? You know what I mean? Without feeling like I am having what the hell's the word? Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Like I don't want to be, and I wouldn't want for anybody to feel like they had to be a version of themselves that wasn't really true to them.
Yeah.
Um, so I just like that's man important, and not for nothing, that authenticity is what's gonna make a motherfucker unique in their own sense, and that'll get you to where you want to be much faster.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The more authenticity, the more that you convey, the more you magnetize
Yeah.
and attract things to yourself because you attract like things that's more authentic to you. If you pushing out some fake shit, you're gonna attract that
Don't
something.
be a face shit.
It's a
Yeah.
picture right
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
real fast. The universe works very quickly. Yes. So that would low key be that would high key be my advice to a younger artist. Like, have fun, do some more experiment, but cultivate and research. I feel like any great artist, especially ones that's coming up, look at who's an example I want to use. I want to use a queer artist for an example.
So you said upcoming or
Yeah, upcoming or just like somebody who is relatively like mainstream popular, but does and successful at their job. But you could, I mean, you use your fucking Beyonce, yeah, and a Beyonce, for example, you could tell that she is inspired by X, Y, Z, whether it's Christina Turner, Michael Jackson, blah blah blah. She cultivated all these things, and then she brought it back in and turned it as her own thing.
yeah.
Rihanna did the same thing. Doja Cat did the same thing. You know, fucking Chris Brown did the same. Like these artists, all any artist takes from what they do, and then they kind of blend it and with their own unique kind of sauce, you know.
Because even like with I don't know if you watched the Renaissance, like the actual tour.
Yeah,
Is it-
you know, yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it. But the whole time you listen to the song, you thinking it's about like black excellence,
Yeah,
but it was really about queer
for
excellence
sure,
too.
for sure.
So I loved how she like used those things and like blended them together beautifully.
Mhm,
But she did her research, but not only did she do her research, she went through the experience as well, and it's just like it pay homage to her uncle.
mhm. From a personal
Yeah,
experience,
you're right. Yeah.
right?
So where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years, I wrote it down. I think I wrote it down. When last I wrote it down in my notes. So I would love to, in the next 5 to 10 years, without holding any punches, like on some just like, if I could have it my way, um, a really bomb fucking full fledged album, like not an EP, like a full fledged fucking album, and work with like really good producers, really good like songwriters, really good. Like I want to put out a fucking impeccable,
Mhm.
undeniable, like, and it'll require a lot of work on my end. So I'm the fuck I'm really ready to,
Yes, yes,
but like a
yes.
really bomb ass album.
Mhm.
Um, I would like to have some businesses. Shit.
Oh yeah.
I would love to have some businesses. I would love to have some sponsorship shit. I wouldn't write down. I said I want to do the roots.
Mm.
I want fucking. I low key want to. I want to do something with Chanel. Like I want to do like I have certain things like Converse. Like I want to do the certain collaborations. I want to do.
Mm.
I would love to do one tour in the next 5 to 10 years. If I could
Mm.
finesse a fucking tour, one solid tour with that bomb ass album. Also,
Yes.
L'Oreal
Oh
shit. That's
yeah.
all I need is one. I would love to do more, but I
Mm.
need just one.
Yeah.
Because I love all the bodies of work that I created, and I know what I'm creating over time is going to get me there. But I'm rooting for something that everybody's going to be like, this motherfucker is sick. Because
Mhm.
I know I can do it. I know
Mhm.
I can do it with the right tools and the right resources. I know I can. So in the next 5 to 10 years, I just want that realm of space to be amplified in a sense where, and not even some typical mainstream shit, but just respected for my craft and me working that hard to get there at that point. Um, on top of cultivating like a particular life for myself
Mhm.
and my partner and my family, you know what I mean? It's like buy some land, you know what I mean? Like doing little simple shit like that. Like so it's big goals. It's big goals. But I want the Bambihanna kind of experience to be maximized
Mm.
by the time I'm fucking 40. So motherfuckers could be like, regardless of what you think, there's a certain amount of respect that's cut on their name. So that's my point. That's for sure. Love that Bambihanna experience.
Yes. Oh my god, I had a question on the tip of my damn tongue, and the motherfucker forgot it. Back down quick. Um, oh my gosh. Um, have you ever thought about teaching music? Like artist development? But like, I don't know.
Um, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Um, I think I would have something unique to offer. I know it would be a lot. I would love, in order for me to do something like that, I would want to do the more, I guess, like logical things. Like if we talk about music theory, I would go back. I would, if I went that route, I would want to go back to school and learn shit on my end that I could articulate to the youth or to people who will want to learn. Because all the stuff that I've learned, I don't know. Yeah, like except outside of like vocal lessons, like I had a vocal coach at some point. Shout out to Sunny. Um, but when it came to like playing instruments, when it came to using logic, when it came to engineering, like these are self things, especially during the pandemic, that I just cultivated on my own instead every fucking day doing it. You know what I mean? Literally for like a matter of like 4 years. So I feel like with the right teachings, like I would do something like that over time. I would probably be like a little bit on doing, but I'm a mature daddy. You know what I mean? With my board and my shelf. You know what I'm saying? Like an assignment two. You know what? Well, so I would do something like that. I wouldn't be opposed.
And so, what type of support do you need as an artist?
Strengthening your hearts, first of all. But no, honestly, support from me as an artist. it comes up in different ways. Interestingly enough, I had this conversation with like my partner, my friends, like random people. Support really does come up in different ways. Um, and my idea I've had of support once upon a time to me, support was me posting like my project and I'm putting it out there and it was a dub. You know what I mean? No traction, dry. You know what I mean? Algorithm dry. But my friends, certain friends would like that I would anticipate to repost their posts would not. But some of those very same friends would be putting me in certain places or show up to certain things. So it's like it's kind of hard to gauge because we will want support to look like okay, buy my shit, support my shit. But not everybody does that. Like I don't know if you ever scroll, you sit there and you scroll and you see some shit, man, you think you like that, but you never really like that, and you try to go back and find it, you realize you never even did it. Like shit like that happens all the time. But if I had to think about it now, um, and what support looks like, I think there's instances like this because you've always been supportive of for me, and that's how you always keep me in the loop no matter what the hell it is. And I feel like I've known you less. I've known you less than I feel like some of our kind of person. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think there's a certain amount of just being present. Like you don't gotta be there for everything, but a certain amount of being present. When you see a friend of yours, or when I would want somebody to see me, there's a certain amount of presence I would just that is I can appreciate. And there's no, I'm learning to let go of expectations. And that sucks for that. Really, people hate hearing that shit. No, why shouldn't I expect? Why shouldn't I expect? You shouldn't expect a motherfucking thing, but to get up and do your best, honey.
Yes,
But you seeing that stuff. You can't, right? But you can if you expect from other people, it's only going to leave you disappointed.
because it's just the reality is it's just not them.
It's not just them, and they got their own shit going. Everyone has their own shit going on. Um, there's this book I was reading called Big Magic, but it's like you ever heard the book Eat, Pray, Love? I forgot the lady's name, but this is white lady. She did a book called Big Magic. I'm sorry about I forgot your name. But it's a really good book about the creative experience, and one of the parts was it was just that really you can't expect people to just jump at your like, oh, here I got this work and expect people to jump and just be on your dick. Like it don't work like that. You It's either gonna happen or it's not. So the way I look at support now is just like it's going to show up the way it's supposed to show up. So whatever project I put out next, whatever single I put out next, whatever video I put out next, I ain't really got no expectation, but it's except for the fact that I know I'm putting on the best whatever I can at this time, and I'm proud of it, and I love it, and high key, I'm gonna nobody else think. You know what I mean? If you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't, you don't. And the people who rock with it, that kind of support is what I'm going to appreciate, however it shows up. So it's a little bit broad, but I don't really put too much on it because people won't show up the way they want to show up, and all I can do is receive it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, well,
Yeah, I kind of felt that same way too. Like stepping into the environment that because you really realize like the reality of like people show up really in different ways.
mhm,
And you can't control everybody, but just being present is so important. Like even in those times to where you feel less than sometimes within your artistry, you really want that support.
yeah.
Um, but yeah.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah. And sometimes when you feeling less than too, even for me, like if I'm feeling less than, like it's a is you can lean having people to lean on is always fantastic. I'm like everybody should have at least like two friends to lean on when you're not doing your best, but it's also teaching a sense of self. Like I feel like me going through certain emotions and shit is just like I get to use Nikki quote, pick up on your goof. You know what I'm saying? Get up. Like get up, sister. Like you can do what you gotta do. You just get up. You can sit down for a second, but get up. You know what I mean? So yeah, too.
All right. Well, we have reached the
Is that
end.
it?
Yes, we have. This has been an amazing, awesome podcast.
Thank you.
I want everybody to go and tune in to Bambihanna. It is like his music, King of Hearts and Mr. Nintendo.
Please check
The
it out.
bomb.
Check it
The bomb.
out. Check it
Bye,
out.
y'all.
Bye, guys.